Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is July 18th, 2023. So based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage an attack, bombing, or terror event targeting the United States prior to the date of August 8th of 2023. So this particular date marks the one-year anniversary since the CIA staged the FBI raid targeting former U.S. President Donald J. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. And coincidentally, today, on July 18th, Trump issued a press release as well as a social media post stating that he is going to be arrested in the Jack Smith special prosecutor probe in respect to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. So basically, the CIA is planning to stage a major false flag event prior to the date of August 8th, the one-year anniversary. So exactly what is planned is not known, but the most important thing to realize is that the CIA is trying to stage a Trump revenge attack which triggers a second global biological pandemic. And this will most likely come in the form of a weaponized contagion-related attack, possibly anthrax, Ebola, or smallpox. It's also designed to start or trigger a race war in America and or a civil war in the United States. So exactly what is planned is obviously not known, but a redux of the January 6th Capitol attack is expected. So the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C., the White House in Washington, D.C., the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, as well as CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, are the most likely target, which would most likely, as I mentioned, be biological, chemical, dirty bomb, nuclear, or radiological in nature. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA may stage some sort of 9/11 style airplane or helicopter related attack, a bombing, a car, truck, or van bombing, a kidnapping, a hostage crisis, a mass shooting, a mass stabbing, an occupation, siege, storming, shootout, standoff, or terror event, or suicide bombing targeting the aforementioned targets. That being said, Trump has been indicted on federal counts in Miami, Manhattan, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. So a CBRN-related attack targeting the courthouse in Miami, in Manhattan, Atlanta, or Washington is also expected. That being said, the election was highly disputed, and we have current cases, the aforementioned cases in those respective states. So the CIA may stage an attack or a terror event targeting the capitals in those respective states. So the Virginia State Capitol in Richmond, the Georgia State Capitol in Atlanta, the Florida State Capitol in Tallahassee, or the Arizona State Capitol in Phoenix may also be targeted in a false flag event prior to the date of August 8th. It's also imperative to note that the prosecutors, so these are the CIA minions that are prosecuting Trump. We have Jack Smith, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and I'm forgetting one of them, but they may also be targeted in some sort of a lynching or an assassination or attack to basically sabotage the Trump 2024 presidential campaign, or, like I said, trigger a race war or a second American Civil War. Last but not least, in the event that the CIA is unsuccessful in staging a domestic terror attack or triggering a race war or civil war in America, it's highly likely that the CIA would stage some sort of an attack, assassination, or terror event targeting the likes of Joseph R. Biden, the current U.S. president, his son Hunter Biden, his wife Dr. Joe Biden, or one of the 7 grandchildren that Biden has across the United States. I'm not sure where they live. So anyways, the Trump endgame, so to speak, is to basically the reason why they keep charging him with all these different accounts and indictments and keep threatening his arrest is because they're trying to provide a timely motive for a quote-unquote revenge attack. So this is going to be a CIA false flag. We have 2 battalions, one from Ukraine called the Azov Battalion, and this is a neo-Nazi battalion. And then you have the Wagner Group, which is a Russian battalion of 25,000 strong, and this is a Russian paramilitary terrorist group. So they have these 2 groups waiting in the wings, and then you have 25,000 Israeli special reservists that have been called up from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and 25,000 strong. It's an operation called Breaking Dawn. So basically what the CIA is trying to do is to stage a false flag event and basically to hijack the democratic process in the United States and move the capital of the United States from Washington, D.C. to Cheyenne, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is coincidentally home to the U.S. Air Force Command as well as Space Force Command. So exactly how this particular Trump revenge attack will play out is obviously not known, but it's highly likely that the CIA would take one of these groups and basically stage an attack or a siege or an occupation or a prolonged hostage crisis targeting any one of the aforementioned locations. And then this would be used to demonize There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will stage an attack targeting one or more of the aforementioned targets under the guise of as a rebellion or an insurrection within the U.S. Armed Forces. So I believe that General Milley, who's on the Joint Chief of Staff, I believe him and General Michael Flynn, I believe that these are the 2 guys that are going to lead this so-called pro-Trump insurrection or rebellion, basically trying to start a civil war. So they keep on prosecuting Trump. I mean, it's every week, almost every month, they keep on bringing new charges, new investigations, and it's basically designed to provide a timely motive for a Trump revenge attack. So they're basically saying that Trump is being unfairly prosecuted, and that because Trump is popular with the police and the military, that they decided to act on their own accord. When in reality, it's CIA headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, who's orchestrating this whole bit. And it's been going on now for years, since the first impeachment trial in 2020, and then the second impeachment trial, and then the disputed election, and all the indictments, and all the arrests, and all the charges, and all the investigations. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And it's going to keep going on and on and on and on until the CIA is able to stage an attack or a terror event, which basically sabotages the Trump presidential campaign, triggers a second biological pandemic, or triggers a race war and or a civil war in the United States, because they want to break up the contiguous United States into multiple countries. This is dictated under the North American Union. They have a new currency called the Amero, and the capital will naturally be Denver, Colorado. So this has been planned for a long time, decades in the making. And so that's why the current situation, the political situation, is in flux, because the CIA has thus far been unable to stage these attacks and terror events. So they plan to do so at a later date. And so therefore they continue with this tired narrative that's been going on now for a better part of 4 years. So anyways, these events are expected to basically come to fruition by the date of August 8th. The 88 numerology is a neo-Nazi numerology. You can look it up. And this is because the CIA plans to basically paint all Trump supporters and anybody that's opposed to the Biden administration as neo-Nazis. And this was evident during the January 6th attack on the Capitol back in 2021, when CIA operatives, most of which were federal police, military, and intelligence officials, stormed the Capitol building, and they had with them Confederate flags and nooses and swastikas and all this racial racial symbology, because that's what the CIA plans to do. So, it happened in Germany, it happens in other countries. Anybody in Greece, anybody that's opposed to the status quo, anybody that wants to change the system for the better are labeled neo-Nazis. And this is tired, and this is basically the CIA's playbook. If it's not the first page, it's probably the second. So basically demonize anybody that opposes as a Nazi. So anyways, just to recap, some sort of false flag, major false flag event, maybe an assassination, a bombing, a terror event, most likely biological, chemical, dirty bomb, nuclear, or radiological in nature, targeting one or more of the aforementioned targets by the date of August 8th, 2023, which marks the one-year anniversary since the CIA staged the FBI raid targeting the Trump Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. And lastly, but not least, I should also mention that the CIA may stage attacks or terror events targeting the institutions which are prosecuting Trump. So that would be the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, or in Georgia, for example, you have the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and or other law enforcement or intelligence agencies. So anyway, I'm praying for a peaceful week. And lastly, but not least, lest I forget, in the event that Donald Trump himself or any of the people or locations that I mentioned are targeted in any form or fashion, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets.